Good afternoon and hello, wrestling fans. Welcome to Body Slam Your Ears right here on the NYC Demon Diva YouTube page. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. I'm Steve Fall. You can follow me on Twitter at Steve Fall. Of course, I am here with the goddess, the queen, WWE. Please don't sue me. It's Issa, the Demon Diva. How are you today?
Busy, very busy today, but I'm getting ready to go
Busy?
to St. Louis.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. That is good stuff all around. But some other wrestlers who will not be there at the Royal Rumble, the rumors going around, the IIconics, Inspiration, Billy Kay, Peyton Royce were asked to be part of the Royal Rumble. And the rumor online is saying that they denied it. They did not want to be part of the Royal Rumble. Now, the question to you is that even true? Did they even say yes or no? Or are they just saying, oh, that's not true, so that when they do show up, it's a surprise?
Wait, what was your question? Because you were breaking up.
Oh, well, you're breaking up. The IIconics were asked by the WWE to join the Royal Rumble. And yet online, the Inspiration, as they are known now, said, no, we are not going to do that. Fightful also reported saying, no, they turned it down. So is it true they turned it down? Were they even asked? Or is it just to convince the internet that they won't be there? So when they do show up, it's a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, it could be either way. I will hope that if they did deny it, I would understand where they're coming from with that. But at the same time, I just hope that doesn't affect WWE going to other companies asking for talent. It's kind of crappy. Like you had them, you let them go, and now you want them there. So I can see the pride aspect of not wanting to do it. But I think it's such a big deal that WWE is reaching out to other companies that I'm afraid that too many people turning them down. We just close this opportunity to never open again.
Yeah, like Mickie James recently was interviewed, and she said the WWE didn't ask the Impact Knockouts champion to be in the Royal Rumble. They asked Mickie James to be in the Royal Rumble because she is Mickie James. She is a legend. But in reality, did they ask Mickie James or did they ask Impact Wrestling? Because the story goes, Impact Wrestling was asked first. And then Scott D'Amore, who runs that ship, went to Mickie and said, hey, the WWE wants to do this. Do you want to do this? That's Scott D'Amore and Impact story. Mickie James is saying, well, no. They wanted me to be in the Rumble, not me, not the Impact Women's Champion. It could have been anybody who was a champion. They wouldn't have asked the champion. They asked Mickie James. So how do you feel about that whole, ordeal there?
I like the idea of Mickie James being part of the Rumble. I think that even though what happened with the whole trash bag debacle, I don't think Mickie James ended with WWE in bad terms. She went public with the whole trash bag thing, and a lot of people from WWE came back and apologized to her. So I never saw Mickie James as being in bad terms with them. And I think Mickie James is somebody that WWE is always going to bring back in some sort of capacity. I mean, she's won the title 6 times. She's considered a legend in the women's division. And I feel like if we have other male performers go to other companies and we still call them back, they should give the same energy to the women. Special shout out to Jerry Winters, who's listening to us.
Yes. Jerry, thank you for listening right now live, but this show is usually posted on YouTube, so thank you for listening. I don't post links to this anymore. Sorry, folks. This is on NYC Demon Divas YouTube channel right now. But yeah, there's so many rumors go, though, online because you go back a few weeks ago, there was this fake, or maybe not, fake Royal Rumble entrant card for the men. And it had Alberto Del Rio's name on there. It had Moose, the current Impact World Champion, on that list as well. So the rumors are running rampant. Yet Mickie James, Impact Wrestling. Could we see more people from Impact?
Do you want to see more people from Impact? Because I don't really. Wow. I mean, Deonna Purrazzo, I would like to see, I would like to see Deonna Purrazzo more than I would like to see Moose.
Ouch. You just slapped Moose in the face. Ouch.
Yeah. But I think Moose is doing an amazing job at how do I explain it? At getting himself a spot in the Rumble with all this talk, the interviews that he's doing, talking about how he wants to Rumble with Roman Reigns and this and that. He's doing excellent self-PR.
Yeah, you gotta in this world. No one's gonna help you sometimes unless it's just you promoting yourself and getting the world talking about Moose maybe being in the Royal Rumble. Puts more eyes on Impact, put more eyes on Moose. It's a smart move. I would love to see Danhausen. He won't show up though, but I would lose my mind if Danhausen was in the Royal Rumble. Though people online have the AEW bug going where Tony Khan, not AEW's Tony Khan, the other Khan, he recently was saying, hey, the door's open if we want to work with all types of media partners. So, AEW, TNT, TBS, those are pretty big companies right there. And we've had Seth Rollins mention Moxley recently. Could we see an AEW wrestler appear at Royal Rumble?
In the Rumble, I don't know. I think that's a stretch. If we see it, I think that would be super cool. I think a lot of people are thinking that we're going to see somebody that was with WWE. I think WWE is going to, knock the forbidden door. They should bring somebody that's never been in WWE. But that doesn't do anything for WWE. That would be more exposure for AEW and whoever they let them borrow. Where if they bring a John Moxley, Chris Jericho, or somebody like that, that gives WWE the same impact as it would AEW. So I don't see them doing like an MJF, right? Because that does nothing for WWE, but it does everything for AEW.
Right, because say on Saturday night you have Royal Rumble, well then you roll into Dynamite on Wednesday. MJF can just come out and be like, "They offered me $10 million. They wanted me to leave. He could just say anything he wants to make himself look good because the WWE obviously is the one that called him, not him calling them to be in the Rumble. So you're right about that.
Exactly. I think if these promoters, like if this wasn't a business, right, and they really care about the fans and fans' reaction and clicks and this and that, I think CM Punk will be the name to use. I don't see that happening. I'm just saying, if this was this was two companies that care about the fans and how people are going to react and lose their mind, I think CM Punk coming out of the Rumble would be just something that people would just go crazy for, positive and negative. So, I think that will get all the views in the world.
I think you go back to media companies for like the Super Bowl or sports in general, where sometimes the contract's done where like Fox will get all these games and NBC will get these games and so on and so forth. They're all sharing because they all want to make money. So I think if the WWE and AEW and Impact and New Japan and everybody came together and realized, hey, by the way, we are competition, but we also could work together on some avenues to make revenue for all of us. Imagine a pay-per-view back in the day. I used to get the magazines, the Pro Wrestling Illustrated, when there was actually a magazine, and inside it, they have these fantasy matchups: Sting versus Undertaker, Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock versus Kevin Nash. It was WCW versus WWF. The idea everyone keeps having, obviously in their brain, is a fantasy of AEW versus WWE. Could that ever even happen? The Rumble is the only place I feel like you can come into a match like an MJF or whoever, CM Punk, Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan, whatever you want to say, and they get thrown out. It's not like they lost the match. You know what I mean? There's 29 other people.
Right. I feel like you could do that, and then like WWE will have to send some people for one of like the buy-ins, like the battle royals that AEW do. Like I don't see why they couldn't do this, back and forward manner. You know what I mean? I can see an angle for Survivor Series too. I think that would be super fun. But yeah, I think the Rumble will be the one that you don't have to bring them in for storylines. They can come in as a one-off, and then that's it. I think the Rumble is the best one to do it. And we've seen a lot of people just show up at the Rumble and we don't see them again. So I don't see why they couldn't do it. I mean, we know why, right?
Well,
they're different companies, etc. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's pretty funny though. You brought up, the WWE. Like in my brain, AEW is like, we'll send you the Young Bucks and Adam Cole, and so everyone's like, yeah. And then it's time for the WWE to send their talent to the buy-in. It's like, here's Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander and the 24/7 champion Dana Brooke. That's an even trade, right?
No. Hear me out. They send like the Young Bucks and MJF, right? Adam Cole, and then WWE sends Beer, and he finally shows up for the first time at the wrong show.
I like that.
I know.
Or our truth is going to be there
too. They
too.
don't have any plans for him, so why not?
They do this so much. It's so ugly. Hey, remember those Aleister Black vignettes? And then he came out and he
Yeah.
attacked Big E, and then he just got fired a week later.
And they fired him like 2 days after he was part of the main event of SmackDown. SmackDown too, which is your show that gets the biggest ratings.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it feels so messy for a company that's so big and worth so much money. Sometimes I get mind blown at the way that they do things. But you work for corporate. I work for corporate. We know how it is. You get shocked, but not really. You being in a corporate environment, you'd be surprised the silly things that billion-dollar companies just overlook.
Oh my God! Or the things they zone and care about more than anything, and everyone and all the pawns on the bottom look at it and go, "This is what you care about? This little thing that doesn't affect really anybody, but the big picture you don't give two turds about? Like, what is happening here?" Yes, yes. I work for a very large corporation,
Exactly.
and
It's
it
so
happens a
petty.
lot.
It's worse than girl drama. Like, it's so petty.
Yeah, they're like, "Don't you know the way into the cafeteria? You have to take the left door, not the right door." Ah! And then it'll be like, "Oh, did you see what the anchor posted on Twitter? It was a racist rant." It's okay. Like, what? you, you're going crazy about the cafe doors, but not the racist rant on Twitter? Oh my God, what's happening?
Exactly.
So
It's, it's
yes,
it's funny, but it doesn't surprise me anymore.
no, no, it's getting a little scary out there. Oh God. But there's just so much surrounding the Royal Rumble right now, and so many rumors are just running rampant, and I love it so much. And that's what our show's really all about: is rumors and news. Could we say Shane McMahon in the Rumble? Do you believe?
The best in the world.
Well, of course, he's the best in the world. Shane McMahon.
I'm a big Shane McMahon fan, so I wouldn't mind seeing him. But I don't know. We haven't seen him in WWE television in so long. I don't know. I don't know what he's up to. So maybe if we see him, I wouldn't be mad.
And obviously, someone who's definitely been healed up for a while that could return, the first ever woman to win the Women's Royal Rumble, Asuka. I think this is the time for her to return as well. Maybe even make her number 30.
I would love that. I am here for hopefully a return of Asuka, Bailey, and Ronda Rousey. I think the women's division needs to be elevated. It's being booked very poorly, and I think those three super mega talents coming back would definitely make the difference. If you're gonna have Asuka, I mean, if she's not gonna win, you could set up such an interesting storyline for her. That's what I love about the Rumble. You really can set up your future storylines for Elimination Chamber at WrestleMania just based on interactions or people eliminating each other. So it's not about, I mean, yeah, it's all about the winner, but there's so many secondary storylines that you can set up if you book this match the right way.
Well, especially too, you go into it thinking like, oh, well, you could have someone return or set up a storyline that goes nowhere, like the year Brock Lesnar was attacked by the Wyatt family and then it went nowhere. That was fun.
Yeah, exactly. But you had the Royal Rumble in 2017, which really think about that one, right? Because you had Randy Orton won, and he didn't even go on to main event WrestleMania, right? But you set up the storyline between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, continuing. You set up the storyline between Roman Reigns and The Undertaker. So, you know what I mean? A lot of WrestleMania matches came out of that Rumble, and your winner didn't even main event.
Yeah, that's we talked about it a few times already this week. It has happened before where people win the Royal Rumble. John Cena in 2008 won. He didn't even want to wait till WrestleMania. The next month, like No Way Out, he took on Randy Orton in the championship match. He couldn't even wait till WrestleMania. And then he did.
Oh, John Cena.
And then he still got a championship match at WrestleMania. But it was not the main event of the evening. The main event that year was Taker and Edge. WrestleMania 24, right. The retirement of Ric Flair and Money Mayweather versus The Big Show. I was at that WrestleMania live. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Shinsuke didn't go on to main event either. Remember, he won back in 2018, and he wrestled for the WWE title, but he was in the middle of the show.
True. And also 2 years ago today, we did have a return of a superstar we thought we'd never see again. The Rated R Superstar Edge. But could we see Paige return in the Royal Rumble this year?
That's another one that's doing an amazing job at teasing it on Twitter. I mean, we've seen somebody like Nikki Bella. She's making a comeback. And we've been told a lot of times that Nikki Bella will never be cleared to wrestle. again. So I mean, I don't put anything past this career ending injuries anymore, because I do feel like so many of these performers are able to come back with the right treatment and the right doctors, that I feel like everybody's just becoming inspired by each other. You know, I feel like Brian started a revolution of people that were told you can't wrestle anymore, and now you see them all trying. Whoever comes back, I just want them to come back because they're really healthy and they can do it. And if that's not the case and it's a one off, then just be safe with the bumps that they do take.
Well, I'm just happy that I think people have finally realized, hey, you know what happens when you drop yourself on your back 300 days a year? You get hurt. You know what happens when you go home for 7 years? You get better. Ta-da! Like, hello. The concept of resting and taking care of yourself finally has come into fruition. Like, people have realized that, healing up isn't just getting surgery and then sitting at home and doing rehab for 2 weeks and getting cleared and coming back. Like, finally, we're getting some wrestlers, like you said, Edge, Nikki Bella, Daniel Bryan, hopefully Paige, people who can return from injury. Corey Graves, another name that's been thrown around, who recently on Twitter was hilarious because he trended all day long about how he was cleared to wrestle. Then he tweeted, "Hey, I'm just checking if Paige is still trending." And I laughed my ass off so hard.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to see Corey Graves. I think Corey Graves will feel very fresh, because I don't think a lot of people are familiar with his in-ring work. He hasn't been in the ring for so long, and when he did wrestle for WWE, it was NXT before NXT was a thing. So a lot of people are not familiar with his work, So I think it will be refreshing to see what he can do.
Same.
However, if he just got clear, I think it takes a little bit of time to get in ring shape. Everybody talks about it's not the same thing being in shape than being in ring shape. But I feel like the Royal Rumble is such a good warm up for someone. You know what I mean? Like, look at all the legends that are able to come back because you're just kind of like going over the top rope, getting 1 or 2 eliminations in. I think that's a great match to come back because you're not fighting a full on match.
True. So again, this show obviously is all about the IIconics turning down the invitation. Corey Graves could be there. Paige could be there. AEW involvement. More Impact wrestlers. Oh my God, I cannot wait for Saturday. And folks, you know what I can't wait for you to do? Hit that notification button, subscribe button on the NYC Demon Diva YouTube page. I am Steve Fall. This has been Body Slam Your Ears. Issa, send us home the same. We go home every single time here Monday through Friday.
Adios.
Adios.